Wow, that was interesting. All right, cool. Sorry about that, guys. We've got a bit of a problem going on. Deviant was trying to get in, but he's having an issue with his mic, so it'll just be me running the AMA tonight. That's cool. He'll play around with it for a bit and try to get it going. We got the questions through from everyone in the Discord. But just before I get into the AMAs or the questions, I might just check if everyone can you guys hear me okay? If you guys can hear me, can someone give me like a thumbs up or a 100 or something in the reaction? Yeah, you guys can hear me? Yeah, cool. Yeah, sweet. Awesome. Cheers, guys. All right, wicked. All right, there's a few questions here and there's some stuff to talk about. So I'll try and get through them like, relatively quickly because everyone's kind of busy. There's a million, and we'll try and get through these. Also, just trying to hustle just to get Deviant to kind of come in. Give me a sec. Remove from speakers. Sorry about this, guys. It's just always a hassle. Right, we invited him to speak. Let's see how he goes. All right. So we got. Get rid of that. Got some questions in from Kimbex, who I think Kimbex actually one of our community content creation things. But Kimbex asks, why are you interested in copying the project from the CryptoPunks and converting the concept into 3D? Well, two main reasons for this. First is essentially just for art. Like I'm a bit of an artist myself. I've been I do sculpture and art and 3D rendering and all of that for a long time. And the you know myself and the founder Deviant, we were actually a little bit late coming to NFT sculpture and art and 3D rendering and all of that for a long time. And the you know myself and the founder Deviant, we were actually a little bit late coming to NFTs. We only minted our first NFTs kind of like late last year. We minted a derivative version of the CryptoPunks, just a little pixelated versions, and immediately we were hooked. And then when we saw the CryptoPunks and we started looking at all their different attributes and all of that kind of stuff, we realized like kind of how cool the punks are and how much personality they have. But they were kind of really restricted in really kind of expressing their personality well, just in that really pixelated kind of format. So we really wanted to bring them to life in the 4K 3D, just like the artists in us wanted to bring them out, really bring them to life and accentuate that personality that they have that's trapped in the little pixelated format and really express it creatively in 3D 4K. That's one side of the art. The other side is like, we all know how big the metaverse is going to be. Everyone's going to be fighting for cool avatars. We're taking the punks into the metaverse, and that's kind of it. That's what we needed, and we took the idea and we started running with it. What was Kimbex asks, what was your motivation for doing this before? I think just what was our motivation for doing this? Myself and the founder NFT Deviant, we're both business owners. I've been running my business since 2015 in 3D rendering, and he's been running his business for I think somewhere like 16 years now, or a couple of businesses for 16 years now. And we're both not incredibly passionate about the businesses that we run. They're not bad. Like you kind of enjoy them, and they're good businesses to run, but we're not incredibly passionate about them. But we've both been involved in cryptocurrency since 2017, and we've been itching to get into projects, like to start a project of our own because we just love the crypto space. And then NFTs come along. We're both NFTs come along. We're both artists. Perfect opportunity. We've found a niche. And we basically want to carve out a career or a new business for ourselves so we can leave our own old businesses behind and take this new business, this project, and it is effectively underneath at its core, it's a business. So we want to build it so we can walk away from our old businesses and walk into this and just work in something that we're more passionate about and enjoy. Hobby Punk asked, can CryptoPunks become as big as CryptoPunks? My answer to that will be pretty much why not. It's a pretty big question, and it'd be a pretty big call for me to say that I think that they can, because obviously the CryptoPunks are huge, and not to take absolutely anything away from the original CryptoPunks, because they're absolutely massive, because they're a really cultural part of crypto history and NFT history. But I think that there's no real utility with the original crypto over the coming week to 2 weeks. as we have a solid partnership announcement coming up that will give immediate utility to our punks. 1 week after we mint our punks, approximately 1 week, there will be immediate utility for a substantial user base that you'll be able to use for our punks. And we will, as you'll see when we release our roadmap very shortly, you'll see that we will continue to build in utility as we move forward. So we're basically just going to keep packing these things with utility. And it's not only how we want to do it, we want to build this journey of the punks rolling into the metaverse with the community. And that's why we're having the DAO built in, so the community can kind of help steer the direction of how that happens and how the utility integrates into the punks. I have said it in a previous AMA before that we are running a business, so we will have to build that kind of direction we take from the DAO will need to work within a framework, a set of resources, but we still will be leaning on the DAO for you guys to kind of tell us really what you want, and we'll do our best to make it happen as best as we can within the framework of the resources that we have. So in short, I say, why not? Big picture, I don't see why not. If we really pack these things with the utility and do it well, there's no reason why they can't be bigger than the original punks. Let's see what happens. Aurorian, I hope I said that right. Is he in? Is NFT Deviant in? It says you're still a listener, buddy. I don't have you as a speaker. Sorry. Let me just play around with that. Aurorian asks, will CryptoPunk holders want the 3D version of their CryptoPunks? I say, pretty good question. At the moment, I just think it's a matter of exposure. Here we go. Requested. Will CryptoPunk holders want the 3D version of their CryptoPunks? I say, pretty good question. At the moment, I just think it's a matter of exposure. Here we go. Requested. Add as speaker. There we go, Mr. Deviant. It's just connecting you now, mate. You'd have to get your thing off mic. Your mic off mute.
Hey, how we doing?
Hey, there you go. Good, man. Thanks. You made it in.
Hey, Wiz, I tell you what, this tech with these phones and getting in and out of spaces and stuff's pretty. It sounds like it should be easy, but sometimes it's not. I'm just grateful that I'm here now.
Sweet. So
I can keep kicking on, and
yeah. Cool. Well, we'll get back to as well. David was just at an NFT meetup that had quite a pretty big turnout, so we might have a little bit of a hear about that at the end if that's cool.
Definitely love to talk.
Yeah, sweet. Because I want to hear. I haven't actually spoken to you since you've been back. So I'm keen to hear about it. But all right, so we'll jump on to Ori, and then you can jump back on and fire on the questions if that's cool. Aurorian, I hope I'm saying it right. Will CryptoPunk holders want the 3D version of their punks? I think that they will, and that's a large part of the reason as to why we built it on Ethereum. We looked at a lot of different blockchains, and there's quite a few reasons why we landed back on Ethereum. And one of the few reasons was that would afford the opportunity of the original CryptoPunk holders to sit our punks in their wallet next to theirs, like the exact same version. And I think it's really a matter of exposure for them, really kind of seeing it to want it. Furthermore, as an extension to that, when you see the utility that we're starting to build into it, I think there's going to be some substantial demand for these things. So I don't see why not. I can get the next question.
Yeah, perfect. This next one's from...
next question.
Yeah, perfect. This next one's from Polkadot Punk.
Yep.
And the question is, what will be the utility or utilities of the CryptoPunks after mint?
Yeah, cool. All right. So I kind of touched on this a little bit in the last question. So we have when is the actual partnership announced? I've lost my calendar. So we have within a week of the mint, you will be able to use some utility for our CryptoPunks. I can't tell you exactly what that is right now because we're waiting to do the partnership announcement. We've got the partnership announcement scheduled for. Let me just go down to our planner here. Is scheduled for Monday the 28th, which is next Monday. And then 2 days after that, we'll hold an AMA specifically for that partnership. And we've purposely given 2 days, but a lot going on and it kind of takes a little bit, I'd say, to like really truly understand the depth of what they're doing. That's coming up. There'll be immediate utility for that will be available approximately 1 week after we mint. Aside from that utility that partnership brings, what the actual real utility for our Crypt3d Punks is when we'll outline this in the roadmap that we're going to drop soon as well, is like it says on the website and everyone's following the project, we're taking the punks into the metaverse. And effectively, I don't want to say too much about it because I want to leave some of the information for the roadmap drop, but the Crypt3d Punk PFP will effectively become your passport in and out of multiple metaverses for that version, for your version of the. If you hold Punk 398 and it's a zombie with a mohawk, and that's your profile picture that you mint from our mint, that will effectively become your passport that allows you to jump between the different metaverses that we're gonna build the punks for. So that's actually a fair bit of utility within itself. And then when we go into metaverses, we'll be looking at acquiring land, and what we do with that land, we're going to kind of put in the hands of the DAO, so we can all kind of build the utility there. So I know that at this point that might seem a little bit ambiguous, and that almost is by design by itself because of the nature of the DAO. We really want to build this with the community, again, within that framework that I was talking about earlier. But that really opens up to some pretty powerful utility. So, and like we've already seen so far, some of the community that we have so far, like the guys are pretty creative, and we're actually really keen to see, what kind of utility you guys want us to building, along with some of the stuff that we have in mind. You want to get the next one?
Yeah. Great comments there, Gypto. The next one from Logical Things. Will Crypt3d Punks get collabs with some famous brands?
Yeah, cool. That's a really good question, and we're having an interesting conversation with this with the CEO of the partnership that we've joined with yesterday afternoon. And it's an interesting question. I don't see at all why not, and just to quickly kind of shed a little quick bit of light on, obviously the punks at the moment are only heads, and we're going into the metaverse. They're going to need bodies, and they're going to need clothes to wear. We're leveraging one of the biggest, most culturally significant NFT brands and collections, and taking them into what's going to be the metaverse, arguably one of the biggest, evolving spaces that we're going to see for like a very long time. I think that's going to attract some attention. So, I think we will see some collabs with some famous brands. What they are at this point, we'll find out. I think what needs to happen is we need to get through the mint, start looking at getting into the metaverse. And there's a process that's going to happen between mint and metaverse involving the DAO and fashion that is going to be relative to this question regarding brands. And I'll leave that at that.
Yeah, nice. Next one we've got from Simpson RS. A lovely good morning. Thanks.
Fashion that is going to be relative to this question regarding brands, and I'll leave that at that.
Yeah, nice. Next one we've got from Simpson RS. A lovely good morning. Thanks, Simpson. How about the roadmap of Crypt3d Punks? What's happening there for us with our roadmap?
Yeah, cool. We did say in our last announcement the other week that we were going to do the announcement this week, and we were aiming for it. But we just needed to confirm a few things with the partnership, which we mostly got locked in yesterday in our meeting. So we did push the metaverse essentially roadmap back. So we got that scheduled for March 1st is the drop of the roadmap. So that's the day after the partnership announcement, and that just kind of needs to work in that particular order. Also, we pushed it back as well because we have another partnership next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to some of these dates that are coming up. So,
The calendar's starting to look pretty packed, actually.
well, this is what we've been working for the last 3 or 4 months, and building the community, and everyone will know when mint, and all these sorts of things. And I'll be honest, we're really heading towards that right now, and yeah, we've got a pretty feature-rich sort of calendar heading towards there. It's going to be good. So look, I'll keep back onto the questions. We've got a couple more here from Simpson. I like this one. How much supply will there be for the Crypt3d Punks? And can you just tell us a little bit about the correlation between the two?
Yeah, cool. So the answer is 10,000 as per the original Lava Labs Crypt3d Punks, which was 10,000. And we're doing 10,000 because there was 10,000 of them. And just to be clear for the people that don't fully understand it, we've remade 10,000 crypto punks from Lava Labs, and we've made them one for one. So if you mint, Crypto Punk 5,332, and the original one is, a zombie with a mohawk and big shades and a pipe, then they're the attributes you get with our Crypto Punks. So it's basically our Crypto Punks are the 4K 3D rendered version of the original ones specifically. So we're not randomizing our attributes. You're getting basically a remastered version of the original punks. We've done all 10,000 of them. I think I'll leave that.
Nice.
Yep.
And one last one. What is the difference of OG and Whitelist to get a Crypt3d Punk? What are the differences of OG and Whitelist?
So we have our normal whitelist, which a bunch of people have got, and we have some solid whitelist numbers coming in. And the OGs actually come with their own separate whitelist. So basically, if you get an OG role, it basically comes with another whitelist. So it affords you get two individual whitelists. So basically, this gives you the opportunity to get two whitelist allocations to ensure that you can grab those. The other thing that comes with the OG is we're going to build some benefits into when we get into the metaverse that basically benefit the OG holders. And that I don't want to say and commit to anything at the moment, but that's probably going to consist of some airdrops and just some benefits that happen within the game environments that we build in the land spaces.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
And just some benefits that happen within the game environments that we build in the land spaces.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
I'd be going for like if you're keen on the project, I'd be hunting down an OG role pretty quick because they're going to be closing soon.
Yeah, we've got 3 OG roles there too. We've got the Pioneers, Adventurers, and Explorers. So
Pioneers have been taken because they were for the original Pioneers that first found the project. So they're done. And then Adventurers and Explorers.
Awesome. So the next question we've got is from Ensign. Hi, may I know how much per mint and whitelist can I mint? How many? How many can I mint, and how much do you think the mint cost will be?
Yeah, sure, cool. So everyone's been asking us this question, and we've been holding off on a while away from getting to mint, and we just wanted to be a little bit closer to mint before we kind of announce the price. So I'll go back to the whitelist. How many first? So we did some data sampling on our community a little while back, asking how many people generally would mint, and on average it was 1, 2, or 3. And with the occasional people saying they'd mint 5, some people saying they'd mint 10. Or sorry, I should say the very small minority saying that they'd mint 5 or 10, or some people saying they'd mint as many as they could.
Yeah.
But they were very much outliers. That it was very clear that the average amount was about 2 that people would mint. So we're setting at the moment we're looking at setting the whitelist at 2 per whitelist mint, 10 per public mint. So setting it at 2 per whitelist mint just assures that we can kind of spread the whitelist across as many people as we can, because we obviously don't want just be a lot more come back into the public, and 10 per wallet's decent, pretty decent cut to have a grab at. So you can pick up 10 there. Regarding the price, so yeah, like I said, we were looking at kind of like pushing that back, getting closer to mint. We're not far away from announcing the mint date. It's not that far away. And we feel a bit more comfortable about talking about price now. But before I say the price, I just want to say that, and I've said this in previous AMAs when people have asked it, is we're not here really to like roll people. There's some pretty crazy projects going for wild prices on their mints. We're looking at somewhere around 0.07 for the ETH for the mint for public, and maybe a bit of a discounted rate for whitelist. That's approximately around that. It really depends on what the market does. It might be like we'll be taking a substantial portion of that ETH that comes in and just immediately parking it into stable coins, and we'll be putting that into earning into DeFi to earn a yield to effectively short income for the project, to pay our mods, to pay for our time, to make sure that we continue to build. Because, you know, for all we know, Deviant and I have been in the space for quite a while. We've been through a pretty hectic bear market. We saw a lot of the projects that we invested in 2017 just absolutely bombed out because they weren't prepared for a bear market. While I don't think necessarily we're heading into like a really big bear market, you still need to be prepared for it. So we just need to make sure that if we do slide into a bear market, we've got the capital reserved in stables that's earning income, so we're not eating away at the treasury, so we can pay the wages of the team to keep building if we do slip into a bear market. So I think, like, arguably, if we really wanted to, we could ask for a higher price away at the treasury, so we can pay the wages of the team to keep building if we do slip into a bear market. So I think, like, arguably, if we really wanted to, we could ask for a higher price. Like, there are some pretty gnarly prices going around there for projects, but this isn't necessarily a cash grab where we're looking to just grab like a ridiculous amount of money up front to build with. We just kind of need enough to make sure that we can park enough in a treasury in stable coins to earn a sufficient yield to pay ongoing wages to continue to build. And then obviously you've got the treasury there as essentially like a war chest or a buffer. If things go wrong, sometimes you need more money. You just need to have basically a war chest there. That's how, you know, Deviant and I have managed to survive running our own businesses for years. You have to be careful about your money. We will leave a portion of the ETH that comes through the sale in ETH, just because it's ETH. We've managed to survive running our own businesses for years. You have to be careful about your money. We will leave a portion of the ETH that comes through the sale in ETH, just because it's ETH, and, you know, you're not going to not have some ETH, but the substantial portion will be going straight into stables for that. Did that answer the questions? I think it did. Yeah.
I think we did. Yeah. Now I didn't jump into the spaces on the right time, and I did hear you talking a little bit around our backgrounds and things. We've got some questions here. Yeah. Did you catch those already?
No, I haven't. And what I'm going to do is, if you give me a sec. So, do you want to talk about your kind of background for a sec while I just bring something up?
Yeah, a big thing to talk about yourself. I've never had to really do it before. I guess, you know what, I'm just like all you guys out there, and we all get a job, and, you know, we just move through life and have different sort of things come to us, and we take on a lot of different roles. And so, yeah, I've sort of I started off as an apprentice butcher back in the day. I went from butchering into a DJ career, which I started in the mid-90s. And, yeah, then found myself running a business for about 17 years. Hired people. I've just done a bit of that and a bit of that. Bit of family life sort of stuff as well. And this is, we got into the space around 2017. Had some pretty crazy experiences. You know, we were just people that had never really experienced markets, and definitely the crypto space is inexperienced, and I think that's where we're pretty fortunate that we've spent, the 4 to 5 years to get here, to have experienced everything that we sort of could. And, we have new experiences every day building the Punks project. And I think that's sort of, relative to the space. You have to move and pivot with everything. But, look, I'm my favourite role around this whole scenario is to build community. We both do have business backgrounds, but, what I've sort of realised in this space is that, especially NFT space, is that without your community, you really don't have anything. You can have the best artwork, you can have all of these fantastic utilities, but without you guys, we can't artwork. You can have all of these fantastic utilities, but without you guys, we can't make it possible. So that's why we work really hard to do what we need to do to bring the opportunity. And, this is what it is. It's an opportunity. And we want to share that with as many people as we can. And, this whole crypto space was supposed to be the biggest distribution of wealth that we've ever seen. And, that comes through being connected. And I think that's what's really cool about these PFP avatar projects, is that we can connect with so many people, and the opportunities to build through the brand and, the associations it has. And, the metaverse stuff's really, starting to evolve. And, it does take, we used to say the boat hasn't sailed yet. I still think, the boat hasn't sailed yet. I do believe we're early. You guys will see a lot of stuff happen that is life-changing for other people, and, be happy for them, because, good karma comes and goes. And I think, if we just commit ourselves as a community, and, guaranteed myself, Gypto, and all of our mods and everyone that, does their little bits in the background, they're all very passionate about what we're doing. So if we can just all, work towards that, there's no reason why we can't be those people that everyone are looking at down the road. Just we've got to do our best to get there. So that's just maybe a little bit of a tangent there as well, but that's a bit about me.
Tangents are good. Tangents are always good. Yeah, and that's like, and that's why David's so good on the project. Like, he's been running.
That's just maybe a little bit of a tangent there as well, but that's a bit about me.
Tangents are good. Tangents are always good. Yeah, and that's like, and that's why David's so good on the project. Like, he's been running his own business for 17 years. Like, anyone that's tried to run a business, most businesses don't. I can't remember the stat, but I think like 80% of businesses fail in the first 12 months, and 90 to 95% fail within the next 2 to 3 years. I'm 7 years into my business now, and it's been an absolute battle. And 17 is just absolutely a commendable effort. And that's what's so good about having David on the team, is just that kind of real world business experience, and it's this life experience that he brings to the team. It's just awesome to have it there. Other key players in the team are Neo. He's our artist. He's based out of Mexico. Neo actually doesn't fluently speak English, so he's shattered. Like, he wants to come in and be part of these AMAs and talk to the Neo. He's our artist. He's based out of Mexico. Neo actually doesn't fluently speak English, so he's shattered. Like, he wants to come in and be part of these AMAs and talk to the community. You can talk to him through text, but he has to do it through a translator app. I worked one-on-one with Neo through the art creation process, and it was a bit of a challenge. Like, it was getting through the language barrier, but we got through it all. But yeah, he can't come in and have a chat. Otherwise, he said he'd love to be here. But he's a 26-year-old talented artist out of Mexico. I found him on Instagram. We hooked up. I threw the idea at him, and we went at it. He originally studied industrial design, like myself. I'm an industrial design student. He's worked for a range of, like, he's done toy design, jewelry design, product design, stuff like that. And then he found his way into animation and has found NFT projects for a while. Will probably be familiar with that with Brains. I'll just rattle off a list of projects, and this is relevant to the next question down the list, which is from this 10-song Blacklist random that asked this question. Hacks everywhere. What do you do if you're being hacked? I feel really confident that we're in the hands of Brains. The guy's been around and he knows his business. Here's a list of NFT projects that he's developed for and successfully gone through all of their nets. And I'll read them out now in case anyone's like, just so you can write some of these down. But we'll share these so you can have a look at them. Skullbots, Cyber Pharmacy, Pixel Ducks NFT, Bucket Club, Rare Ghost Club, Jungle Destroyers, Cyber Pharmacy, Holyverse NFT, Soul Swans, Spicy Chicken Club, Solantis, Billionaire Doge Club, Angry Rare Ghost Club, Jungle Destroyers, Cyber Pharmacy, Holyverse NFT, Soul Swans, Spicy Chicken Club, Solantis, Billionaire Doge Club, Angry Apes United, Soulflowers, Striker NFT, Network Chuck, Crypt3d Punks, that's us, Goomies, Rare Ghost Club, Metasphere. I think he's currently working on Metasphere. I think Rare Ghost Club's might be a new one as well. So the guy's no stranger to this business. And when you chat to him about him, I was chatting to him about our minting portal and it's the best way to go about it. Like the guy is pretty switched on savvy. He knows everything people try to get up to. We're in pretty good hands with this dude, so that answers that hacking question. But yeah, he's just a talented developer based out of the US. I believe he used to run some kind of like visual effects company. He specializes in React, Rust, Node.js, and Python. He's minted on Solana, Ethereum, on some kind of like visual effects company. He specializes in React, Rust, Node.js, and Python. He's minted on Solana, Ethereum, Immutable X. It's just a solid all-round dev that you just want in your corner, really, when you're dealing with this space.
I mean, it's a guy as well.
He's awesome. It's always fun having a chat with him. He's always a blast. And as for myself, I have a mixed kind of like academic and professional background. My academics, 2008 Advanced Diploma of Multimedia Gaming stream, which is effectively video game design at Victoria University in Melbourne. I did an Advanced Diploma of Project Management in 2012 through Chisholm Institute of TAFE. I've undertaken just a certificate of small business management. It was incredibly beneficial. I got an Advanced Diploma of Graphic in 2012 through Chisholm Institute of TAFE. I've undertaken just a certificate of small business management. It was incredibly beneficial. I got an Advanced Diploma of Graphic Design via a full tuition scholarship through Laureate University in 2015. Certificate of Living Philosophy, and I'm currently halfway through a bachelor's degree with honours of Industrial Design through RMIT in Melbourne. And regarding like professional, just a really mixed bag of just industrial design, product design, graphic design for hardware manufacturers on national and international levels, that kind of thing. And I do like art installation, sculpture stuff, a lot of CAD-based, 3D CAD-based machine CNC stuff. And I started in 2015 an architecture, 3D rendering architectural visualization business, and it's been going quite well ever since then. Not even you that are new to the space don't have to go through a kind of journey that we did, but different space now with NFTs. It's a bit of a different thing, but that's kind of the main kind of team. Then we've got Hacky is our community manager. He's just an absolute beast. Dondon in there as well. Go say hi to those guys in the chat.
And yeah, just while we're there with Don and Hacky as well, props to those guys. A lot of you probably aren't aware of what actually goes on in the back end of building a project. Believe me, when you're running whitelists and competitions and you're hiring people to do Twitter ads and Facebook stuff, and there's just a range of activities that is continually up. So, these guys, you might just see them giving you a good morning and having a bit of a laugh in the chat, or giving you good advice about this project successful too. So, just a bit of a shout to those guys, and even we're probably moving down the line into some of our other punk moderators, Rod and Beska and Moosey and Sai. They all contribute as well. So
mate, how's Rod? Rod is a Disco Vallejo is a data analyst, and he created for us something that you guys probably might not be aware of, but like when you're whitelisting a significant portion of people, you have to manage that data, and it needs to be managed correctly. And Mr. Rod surprised us all with he's basically just made us this amazing data management system with a interactive dashboard for our whitelist and giveaway management on the back end. And it was just
they do a lot for us as well in other ways. So we're grateful for that too. So thanks, boys.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Could you introduce team members? If you're saying like one of the founders' background introduced team members, we just kind of went through that. We've got Brains. I have to confirm it with him. We've got Brains scheduled. I'm going to try and get Brains in for AMA next week. The AMA, Brains is like a wildly busy man, like most of us are. So we've been kind of keeping him out of a lot of the AMAs so he can best use his time elsewhere. But when we get closer to the Mint, which won't be far away, we'll get Brains into the AMAs so you guys can all throw your Mint real super technical questions at him. But one thing I'll say really, actually I won't go down that. We'll wait for Brains to come in, but he's done a pretty good job on the minting contract, keeping it lightweight to get the gas fees as low as possible. And the tests have come through, like questions at him. But one thing I'll say really, actually I won't go down that. We'll wait for Brains to come in, but he's done a pretty good job on the minting contract, keeping it lightweight to get the gas fees as low as possible. And the tests have come through, like really low gas fees, which is really cool.
Yeah. I just also, while we're talking about team, just want to throw a bit of gratitude back to you, Gypto, and just let everyone know, when we were listening only a few minutes ago to him tell us about all of his work that he's put in, his degrees and scholarships and stuff, there's a certain amount of knowledge that you need to be able to actually do something like this. This is not just we woke up one day and all of a sudden you can pull this sort of stuff off. But yeah, big respect to Joe for everything that he brings to this project, because stuff off. But yeah, big respect to Joe for everything that he brings to this project, because ultimately without him, he's the heart of the project. I have a lot of respect for him, and I think that it's just important that he's just want to put it back out there. We don't often get to give each other shout outs, and we've been working pretty hard. So there's a shout out for you, Gypto.
Cheers, man. I appreciate it
for everything you do, man. Because some of the challenges we've had to come through, both of us, with our contributions, have been able to manage that, and I know we'll continue to do that, and that's a part of the evolution of the punks and us as a business. So just heaps of gratitude for everyone for their roles that they play and what they bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely lots of gratitude going around. But yeah, cheers, man. Appreciate that. We're going to build it, and we are building it. And one thing that will be substantially different once we get past the Mint from where we are at now is that we've effectively bootstrapped this thing out of our pockets up until this point. And it costs actually a considerable amount of money to get to where we are. I think projects that kind of look to just get in and build something that has no substance behind it and just flip it and rug doesn't cost us much. But to do the way we've done it, and we've built it more organically, and we're paying people on the way as you go. We've been doing it on not necessarily a shoestring budget, but it's money that's been coming out of our incomes, and we've had to, we haven't had like a huge marketing budget and stuff to throw around. when we get through the mint and we get money in, then we can start paying people better and we have a bit more money to start building, then things are going to start moving very quickly. Like a large part of our the length of our build so far has just kind of been finance orientated. So once we get a bit more capital in, that we can really start building, things are going to start hiring and contracting people online since about 2012. Actually have a really funny story about doing that in 2012, but I won't go into it now. But I'm very resourceful at finding talent and managing that talent and taking creative direction with talent. We've got to where we are finding the talent that we have, like Brains and Neode and all the crew, on a really kind of refined budget. When we get budget at our fingertips, things are going to change pretty quickly. And it's people are out there, the talent's out there. You just kind of need the funds to be able to pay them to get the things done that you want to get done. And the things that we want to get done are all perfectly doable, and the talent is out there. The missing link for us at the moment is just the funds to make it happen. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Yeah. Next one. That we marked down, but some have come in on the Discord.
Sure. How are we going for time? We're good. Everyone's still happy having a listen. It looks like everyone's still with us, so that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll try to be as quick as we can. What are we up to in the? Let's just go through the questions in the Discord that's come through. I think we're up to Oki T LCS. Oki T from LCS. Okay, yeah, cool. Is the roadmap going to evolve? Like 100%, it's going to evolve. Like the space is always evolving. The metaverse is going to continue to evolve. This will make a little bit more sense when we drop the metaverse roadmap. But, like I said earlier, the CryptoPunk PFP NFTs are your passport to hop between metaverses. We don't know what metaverses haven't been made yet, but we're going to remain agile to that. The CryptoPunk PFP NFTs are your passport to hop between metaverses. We don't know what metaverses haven't been made yet, but we're going to remain agile to that and keep moving. Also, we have the DAO integration in there as well, so that'll play part in evolving the roadmap. As long as, again, I keep saying it needs to operate within the framework of a sustainable business model. So while people might have these wildly, amazingly creative ideas, they still need to sustainably prove themselves so we can build it for sure. Like there's going to be a second roadmap. Yeah, pretty much. That's going to be our roadmap that we drop. When is here? Let me go back to the schedule. Did I close that off again? I closed that off again. I'll load that up and come back to it. Do you want to grab the next question actually while I bring up the roadmap?
Are you in? I'm not in Discord at the moment. Are you in?
Schedule. Did I close that off again? I closed that off again. I'll load that up and come back to it. Do you want to grab the next question actually while I bring up the roadmap?
Are you in? I'm not in Discord at the moment. Are you?
All right, I got it. It's all cool. I'm just in the AMA questions.
On the phone, I didn't want to pull too much.
Oh yeah, right. That's cool. That's cool.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, all good. EOT with a CryptoPunks tag. There are so many copycat projects out there, but this one is more like a homage to the CryptoPunks. Are we getting any engagement off the original CryptoPunk owners? We haven't had actually much engagement at the moment, but I think like one of the main challenges that we've had is this kind of exposure. But I think when we get to meet and we start making a bit more noise, I wouldn't be surprised if we do. But I think we had a little bit of a we have actually had a double-edged sword going for that. Like some of the OG punk holders aren't fans of punk derivative projects. Some are. So we did a couple of kind of tweet raid setups and targeted some of the OG dudes, and we got a bit of a reaction, but we haven't really specifically kind of gone after them hard to really get on their radar. Yeah. Maybe if the community wants us to kind of pursue that a bit heavier, then maybe we should. What do you think about that, David?
Look, from my experience, I just believe maybe that these OGs that are representing themselves in the Twitter space. Like most of our outward sort of marketing is in Twitter, and that's where, you know, we find the NFT space is most active. However, when we see, you know, such and such that owns this punk, and, you know, it's a bit of a status thing. I buy the floor up and just show me what you got, and it's just a messy space. And I sort of, I guess it's part of the mechanism is, you know, shilling and putting yourself out there. But after a while, you just sort of start to wake up and go, you know, it's just getting lost in all the noise. I think what will happen is, yes, once we do get through mint, we do have a really, you know, amazing sort of idea here with the punks and stuff. And I reckon that you know, it's just it'll be a natural sort of thing. You know, we can't rush it, but once we get through mint's the most important thing, because we can then announce everything to the world. You know, at the moment we're just promoting it, but as soon as everyone's got those punks in their wallets and we've sold everything out, we'll definitely have more hype around. Again, the roadmap's coming out. There's a lot of fun stuff that people will hear about, and that's what people are looking for. They're looking for projects that have got, you know, good communities, great art, and, you know, there's that demand for utility and roadmaps, and that's what we've worked really hard for, is to make sure that we've come in line with the space, and we can move maybe a little bit quicker and maybe a bit in front of the rest. Like it's one thing that we've learned. It's not to be first. It's just to be really sure about what you're doing and understand what you're doing and know why you're doing it. And we keep cementing that in every day. And so yeah, just let's all sort of rally up and get into mint mode. And once we get past that, then we can, you know, just start to see what sort of reach we can get, because ultimately, so yeah, just let's all sort of rally up and get into mint mode. And once we get past that, then we can, you know, just start to see what sort of reach we can get, because ultimately, you know, there will be OG punk holders out there that are going to pick up on it. And, you know, once we get a few of these other partnership things swinging around, there'll be some good exposure there as well. So it'll be a natural progression. It's, you know, if we look at everything else that happens in the space and how it sort of where they started out and where they are today, there definitely is a market for celebrities and, you know, the bigger end of town to get into projects. But you know what? They're usually too late, and that's what we want. I'll be happy for them to you know, come in and start, you know, paying good prices if people want to exit. But you know, relative to that too, this is not something, you know, come in and start, you know, paying good prices if people want to exit. But you know, relative to that too, this is not something that you should expect within a week or two or a month or 2 months. It'll take time, and that's the best thing that we have is time. And if we can all hang out with time and just move through it, and it'll be really successful and we'll all do really well. So just got to hang there.
Yeah. Sweet. Cool. Nicely done. I'm the King, Crypt3d Punks. He's got one of my favourite. He's got a Crypt3d Punk PFP. It's the dude with the purple hair and the shadow beard and the smoke and the orange shades and the gold chain. I reckon he's like my favourite PFP. I'm going to be probably gunning for that one after on the market, when it hits the market. He's got a bunch of questions here. I'll try and get through them all. A few more questions here that I thought that have come in. One big part of this will be our partnership coming up. They've got a sizable community that we'll be introducing to an AMAing over there. But that's just a solid community of actual genuine NFT enthusiasts and degens. They'll understand, because with the partnership and the utility we bring just through that partnership, they'll understand the project very well, and there will be demand from them with the way that our NFTs integrate with their ecosystem. So hang around for next week for the announcement on that and the AMA after the announcement for that partnership to learn a bit more about that in detail, because they've got a pretty wild ecosystem going over there. That's a key bit. What else was I going to say about that? Pretty much, we're basically going to look at, like I was saying before, how we're kind of operating, taking an allocation from the pre-sale to put towards, some heavy marketing, pushing into the public sale, and we'll just go through that when that comes around. Also, kind of important, I think, to address that we're not. How do I say this? There's a lot of hype projects out there that are really like vaporware, and it's just all hype, and then there's not really much to show for it. Sometimes it works successfully, but you see a lot of them that just run off the hype model and they get to mint and they fizzle out. We've got something with substance and utility behind it here, and you'll see that with the mint. If the mint isn't like an immediate sellout, quickly people will start realizing the utility for it, and they'll realize that if they want to do things, they'll need these NFTs, so they'll come and grab them. And that kind of like dovetails a little bit into his next question. Any utility for this project? What more can be done? I might kind of just gloss over that a little bit, because we went into a fair bit of detail about that earlier in the AMA. So I'm the king. If you missed that, maybe jump back to the start of the AMA. But a lot of immediate utility from this partnership that will be available to our NFTs 1 week from mint via this other partnership's ecosystem. That's a really good ecosystem. Our utility is the PFP. CryptoPunk PFPs will be your passport in order to obtain your metaverse version of that PFP for which metaverse we build for. And then utility of the punks inside the land that we'll own in the metaverses that we enter. That utility, we've got a bit of an idea for that, but we really kind of want to, like I keep saying, put that in the hands of the DAO, let you guys kind of let us know what you really want. That utility, we've got a bit of an idea for that, but we really kind of want to, like I keep saying, put that in the hands of the DAO, let you guys kind of let us know what you really want to happen there. Like, we've got an idea, like the direction of kind of the theme to push it, and see where you guys kind of take it from there, of course, within that sustainable framework. But there's plenty of options for utility, and it'll continue to evolve. His next question was, what's the difference between whitelist and OG whitelist? We chatted about that before. Standard whitelist is the standard whitelist. OG whitelist is essentially a second whitelist, so you get 2 whitelist opportunities, and the OG roles will come with benefits when we get into the metaverse. Big question: is the team going to be doxed? This is actually a pretty big answer, so I'll go into this. Originally, I was not keen on doxing, and it's just mostly for like a personal security reason. Like, I just, I just don't want to be a target for being hacked. Basically, I just don't really want to be out there. And it wasn't so much when we started looking at this. It wasn't so much like an issue, but like just what's been happening in the space, and just the rugs and the scams and everything. Obviously, it's more of a pressing issue now, which is really it's upsetting, obviously, for everyone that's been rolled. That's kind of putting this pressure on us, where we have to kind of like reveal who we are personally. I'm not like 100% opposed to it. If I were to dox, to me, I think the smart thing to do for both my personal security and the security of the investors coming in for the mint would be to dox after the mint, just so there's with minting, like when the fund's coming in, like security is tight enough that everyone's on edge enough as it is with the mint when people aren't doxed. But if you open up that kind of can of worms, you're just opening up so many more opportunities for hacking there, and just like personal security. If I were to dox, I think it'd probably be after the mint. I will say though, like I know maybe that's not entirely the answer that some people wanted to hear, and it really comes down, and it's obviously so it's a concern for people from like a risk point of view, from investment for investing your money, and it's with everything that's happened with people that have rugged, and I don't know if I can really. The only kind of maybe confidence that I could help give you would be maybe. So we've contracted. I don't know how many people we've contracted as building things like back ends on all of the Upwork and Fiverr accounts and all of that. Like people know who I am. Honestly, it wouldn't be hard if I did run. It wouldn't be hard to find who I was. If I were to do a run, and I'll make this pretty clear, if I were to do a runner with everyone's funds, I would, which is a wildly unethical thing to do, obviously, I would entirely expect the whole team, being, mostly Dondon and Hacky, I'd put this on you guys and probably Rod as well, to dox me. Like if I effectively stole a bunch of people's money, you guys would be ethically obligated to let everyone know who I were. And just to put some perspective on it to people that don't know, Dondon, Hacky, and Rod, they weren't part of the original team. Like we were the founders and we started building this, and we found these guys and we hired them. And so they're not essentially part of the team. They know who we are. I hope that gives some essentially part of the team. They know who we are. I hope that gives some confidence in just where we kind of stand with doxing. Another part, apart from just the security, is I'm not like a wildly public person. I don't I'm not really huge on like sharing stuff social media. I don't know, being out in the public like that to me is not really my personality. I'm a bit of a hobbit around the house and stuff. There's that side to it as well. But everyone has to make their own decisions. Like when you're making an investment, there's a risk to reward for everything. If that risk is too much for you and that makes you uncomfortable, then I'd actually honestly ask you not to mint into our project, because if no one should be minting into a project that makes them feel uncomfortable. It's just going to cause you undue stress. You're going to be concerned. It's going to impact your life in various ways, and it's just not a healthy thing to do. So if you're not comfortable with it, I'd really prefer you not to mint and just do yourself undue stress.
Yeah.
Yourself undue stress.
Yeah. Good word. Yeah. And just to reinforce some of that, the reason, around, not full doxing, we're in a various sort of, space. There's people out there thinking of right now of how they're going to hack our Discord up to mint. And I think, we should have conversations just around our own personal security. Maybe we can do a tips list. I know we're going to go through some security stuff leading up to mint. But, just simple things, guys. Turn your DMs off, and you don't ask anyone to DM you, and you don't DM, and we'll never DM. We should, I'd be upset if anyone's doing any DMing in the Discord. We've got a support ticket system there that you can reach out to us. It's the safest way to connect. Your Discord has 2FA. If everyone gets their 2FA set up on their Discord accounts, that means it's just an extra level of security from your account getting hacked. Our whole team focuses on our own security. The main thing about security is if we can protect ourselves, if we can protect the Crypt3d Punks through all of our socials, if we can protect the business, and then we're protecting you. It's not a selfish thing to do. It's more of an understanding. Again, it just comes back to experience, and that experience just drives us to do, the things that we do. And unfortunately, we are in that space where there's a lot of bad actors. There's a lot of really bad things that happen to people. And unfortunately, because cuts to get there. So what we're trying to do is not take shortcuts. We want to protect the investment that it will be for us, and it's not something that we take lightly. Let's just be a little bit careful around how we operate. We will get into some security stuff for everyone so that we can pass on some of our knowledge. We're not experts at everything, but this is the cool thing about community and being a collective, is that we do have, I'm sure there's people listening right now that have experienced things and have knowledge in different fields and spaces and places. Look, there could be people in the Discord that are actually in here to, and I hate to say it, but to take a few of you for a ride if they can when it comes to the right. So, you put your trust out there and just be genuine, but and tricked into things. And so yeah, if you see anything in the Discord that you think's a bit out of place, just reach out to one of the mods. But we've built a team around being aware, and we just want to make sure that everyone's in a good place, so we don't have to run into hopefully any issues, really.
Yeah, I might I've just noticed we're over an hour, so it's still a few questions to go. So we'll try and get through as quick as we can. All valid points you were saying. Next one from I'm the King. Where do you see this project going 1 year from now? That's a really interesting question. I think and it goes back to one of the questions earlier about will the roadmap continue to evolve, and basically it's going to keep evolving. So we're going to keep going with the metaverse and tackling new metaverses as they open. We basically have a sustainable method of doing that. And there's other options, method of doing that. And there's other options, and basically we'll be picking up partnerships as we go. Like I said, we've got the current partnership that we're announcing soon. We have another partnership already in discussion. I honestly think and believe that when we start getting the punks into the metaverse, the significance of having a crypto punk as your avatar in the metaverse, I don't think that people maybe fully understand at the moment. Like, it's crypto punks are one of the most culturally significant brands in crypto and NFT history. And to be able to walk around as a version of that in the metaverse, I think it's just going to create demand. Like, everyone's going to need avatar in the metaverse, and regardless of which metaverse you're going into, eventually, we're probably going to get into them all. And that's just what puts in the metaverse. I think it's just going to create demand. Like, everyone's going to need avatar in the metaverse, and regardless of which metaverse you're going into, eventually, we're probably going to get into them all. And that's just what puts that demand from so many different angles on the original PFP, because that's your passport, what you need to get into the metaverses. That's kind of where I see us in a bunch of different metaverses. New partnerships. I think, sorry, what I was getting at with the demand for and leveraging the brand and walking around in the metaverse as a punk, is that's going to attract partnerships. And then the other thing is, we're going back to that DAO and you guys steering us, like, literally, like, where are we going to go? Like, we're really we've got ideas, and it's kind of laying out the framework for you guys to tell us what you want. And things are going to be very different. Like, we all know how fast this space moves. So while I can't give you like a specific answer, I think anyone trying to tell you where their project is going to be exactly 1 year from now in this space, honestly, I think has been quite foolish. None of us know where the space is going to be 1 year from now. Like, who knows what's going to evolve in the next 6 to 12 months? What's important is that you remain agile, and you build your project in a manner where you can be agile to developments as they occur and build accordingly. I hope that kind of answers that question. Next question, last question from I'm the King, which is 3 questions rolled into one. When mint and price, whitelist, cheaper mint. When mint, we're not far off. We're announcing the mint date. We've got the date basically targeted for pre-sale and public sale. We're just waiting to tick off a few final boxes to make sure 100% that we came to something with brains, and just a final check with the artwork, which I'll just say, just in light of the hate, not to any disrespect to hate, amazing project and everything, but some of the issues I have with their artwork, we're rolling through 10,000 of these punks individually and checking them all one by one. It's going to be a team effort, but we're going through that. So that's one of the final tick boxes we have to do before we'll announce a mint date, because obviously if there are any issues, then we have to go back and fix the issues, regenerate the set, check them again. That's one of the checkpoints. Another one of the checkpoints is something from Brains, some of his technical stuff. Once we get those, we announce the date. It's not far away. Start getting your ETH ready. Price, we said earlier, we're kind of ballparking around like 0.07, something like that. Really depends where the market's going to be. Whitelist cheaper mint, yes, we can put a little bit of a discount on the whitelist. Really, that we can have a cheaper price on the whitelist mint. So we weren't aware that was an option. So we can look at doing that. I just want to confirm with him the specifics of that, but we should be able to look at that. Trying to get through these questions quick, guys. The polka dot punk. Okay, I know there are a lot of people in the NFT space that jump around trying to get in every project to make a quick buck and then get out. However, I think there are quite a few also that, like myself, only want to be part of a very select few projects for the long term. Projects that aren't just quick hype, then go to zero, which is what I was talking about before. I think the time of just plain PFP projects with zero utility is coming to a close. Agreed. Projects that will stand the test of time will be built around community that believes in the long-term viability and sustainability. This would also require some pretty solid utility as time goes on. So that being said, my question is, what would be the top reasons why someone would want to choose to invest their time and money into CryptoPunks for the long term over many other NFT projects popping up constantly? I guess many relating to the use cases. I guess mainly relating to the use cases that will make CryptoPunks attractive to others as long-term investment opportunities. Sweet. Did you about to say something, or?
I mean, that was a fantastic question.
Yeah, great question. Very well framed.
I guess I don't want to discount the question itself, but I think we've pretty much answered that through the whole space. It's just everything that we've talked about. Maybe, I don't know, unless you want to put in chuck a little something in there, Gypto, but yeah, I think his question really, the whole space has encompassed an answer towards that. Not to take away from maybe, I don't know, unless you want to put in chuck a little something in there, Gypto, but yeah, I think his question really, the whole space has encompassed an answer towards that. Not to take away from answering it. It's just I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think we've pretty much covered it in the space so far, and we are. I'm trying to get to the end of it. Great question.
It was great question. Yeah. Charles, are you in the Discord now, or?
No, I'm still just hanging out. Just want to make sure my data and everything stays strong on connection.
Oh, you've got that internet. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. You good?
You got more questions?
Yeah, Charles. I'm really curious about this. What's the adventurer role for? Where were we in terms of artwork being done? Can you give an estimate in terms of percentage of it being done? Yeah, cool. Adventurer role, OG role, basically special benefits. You get the verse, hinting you get some airdrops in there as well for OG roles. What the exact benefits are will depend on what we build in the metaverse. So, and we are leaving that to the DAO. So we've got an idea of what, like I said earlier, like kind of theme of what we're going to build in the metaverse. We really want you guys to help kind of build that with us, and then we'll build benefits into OGs. Yeah, into that, I think is probably how to best say that at the moment. Yeah. Where are we in terms of? Sorry, so did you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's fine. Sorry.
Yeah, cool, sweet. Where were we in terms of the artwork being done? It's almost done. Can you give an estimate in terms of percentage of it being done? Right now, there is a very large package being uploaded from our generative art guy. I actually, what happens after that? Basically, I think once we get it, we roll through and we do the 10,000 check. We check every one of them. So artworks, I provided that there's nothing wrong, which there should. We had one issue actually, and we had to regenerate the set again. And then that's been done, uploading at the moment, download soon. take a while to download, then I'm gonna, I think we roll through and we check the 10,000. So provided the artwork's all good and doesn't need to be sent back, I don't think it will be. I think it's all looking really good. Then I'd say like 99% done. If you count the last 1% as the 10,000 individual manual check.
Yeah,
pretty much. So we're close.
Real close.
Chris Liu, I hope I said that right. I'm so bad with names. I like the PFP so much. Thank you. However, it seems a little disappointing regarding the ground in the next phase. I think you meant phase. So one thing I'll say, this is kind of what we were saying before about not necessarily going for some crazy hype project and building this thing with utility and substance behind it, and people will need these PFPs, so they'll come and buy them based just off the utility themselves. Secondly is, while the numbers might not necessarily look that big, we know via conversations that we've been having with people approaching us that there's quite a few alpha projects that are looking at this project. And one might not say more than that. Not all of them are in the Discord, but there are a lot of alpha projects looking at it that are keen to get in on the whitelist. Some of them are in on the whitelist. And then consider, I don't think it's a problem, particularly with this partnership when we introduce to their community, they will immediately understand the value of our NFT project to consider. I don't think it's a problem, particularly with this partnership when we introduce to their community, they will immediately understand the value of our NFT project to their for their utility in their ecosystem, and that's going to create a big portion of demand there. Particularly if we get the second partnership across the line before Mint as well, that'll give us some pretty big exposure as well. So, yeah. Did you have anything to add to that, David?
No, look, that's fine. Yeah, we just we've like you say, we've said all along, we started our Discord a lot earlier than 95% of projects would, because that's the thing with the space. It moves fast. People just see hype. People also see Discords that have been around for a long time as, oh, maybe they just didn't make it. And it is just, that's the nature of the space. And with the space, it moves fast. People just see hype. People also see Discords that have been around for a long time as, oh, maybe they just didn't make it. And it is just, that's the nature of the space. But again, we just come back to the fundamentals. We come back to our experience, and we understand that, the more we can solidify everything with you guys, the community, the more we can build this together. If it takes a little bit longer, and trust me, it's taken a bit longer than what we even would have hoped. We're grateful that everyone who's seen something in the project has just, stuck around. And this is the cool thing, like people come, they don't get gratification. They want to chase the money. I bet you people have come into this project and gone, wow, this is cool, but it doesn't move quick enough for me. Guaranteed they would have gone out there and dropped ETH, Solana on projects. They would have got rugged. And that's fine. That's just a part of people's choices. So it's really just you guys make good choices. We're going to make good choices. The tricky part is just when, a day in crypto space can feel like a month. However, once we hit this little bit of what we call the tipping point, and we've been aiming for that, it's all about lining up your ducks. And I think we've worked hard enough to get our ducks lined up. Once we get a little bit further down from here, and we get into some more announcements and stuff, we will get more exposure, and that exposure it's sort of like the network effect. All of you guys have already done enough, and continue to support us. But, every time we send out a Twitter and you guys go and ping that, it might just reach someone new off around. It'll just be that external exposure. And I wouldn't be surprised if, we wake up one morning and we go, geez, where did all these people come from? And why is the Discord gone crazy? And, oh my God, what's going on? So get ready for it. It's coming. It just takes a bit of time. That's all.
For sure. I noticed we're at an hour 20. I'm going to see if we can get this done in an hour and a half. We still have to do the NFT giveaway as well. So let's see if we can smash through this last bit in 10 minutes. I don't know if it's possible. We'll give it a shot.
Hey, Melbourne.
Sorry?
We got some NFT Melbourne meetup news to come as well quickly at the end.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, sweet. All right. So we'll get through these questions. NFT giveaway, Melbourne, the NFT Melbourne news. Sweet. NGES art, NGES art. This is interesting. I was just having a quick read of this. So in the FAQ you wrote, and this is pretty good where he's going with this. So in our FAQ we wrote, we had designed an impressive range of back-end tokenomics to support the Crypt3d Punks. 3 red flags were waved. We sought legal advice surrounding the implications of offering rewards to NFT holders via staking and or yield farming, as well as floor sweeping type mechanisms. We have been legally advised that these types of mechanisms would classify the NFTs as securities and as such expose us to potential future risks surrounding regulatory compliance from the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. He ends the quote there, but I'll just say a little bit more about that, is that securitized NFTs are being booted from marketplaces as well. So that's not a risk that we didn't want to take. The regulatory environment may clear up surrounding securitized NFTs in the future, and they may be able to be traded on marketplaces, but that's not a risk that we were willing to take for ourselves and the community to have, them taken off the marketplaces. There was another point that I was going to say about that. Basically, if it turns out that the regulatory landscape. There was another point that I was going to say about that. Basically, if it turns out that the regulatory landscape didn't resolve itself around securitized NFTs, and we found ourselves in legal trouble, then that's not what we want, because we want a long-term roadmap of this thing. We didn't want to be subject to 2 years down the track by the time the regulations catch up, copping a massive fining and wiping us out. So we just want to steer clear of it. And there's another thing I was going to say about that as well. Slipped my mind. It was a pretty big, heavy topic, but we decided to avoid all that stuff altogether. We thought it was just a smarter move. So his question was, is there any chance that those mechanics will be implemented in the future? How are other projects achieving this without getting in trouble? And there's more questions. At this point, they're not in trouble yet, it's a really big if. Like, do you want to take that gamble? Like, we don't. We're trying to build a sustainable business model. It's a really big if. Like, do you want to take that gamble? Like, we don't. We're trying to build a sustainable business model. In the future, I will, however. Go back to his first question: is there any chance that those mechanics will be implemented in the future? If the regulations clear up around that, which they should, like they really should, then yeah, definitely we'll entertain the idea 100%. Like, why wouldn't you? But entertaining it now and the associated risks. So you look at the risk to reward for that, and the reward being, obviously greater utility and stuff like that, but the risk potentially wiping out the project and landing us personally with massive fines and whatever else comes with that nature. That's a no-brainer risk to reward ratio. You just don't go anywhere near it. But if they do free that stuff up in the future, yeah, definitely we'll be looking at that 100%.
It's quite. I just want to say it is quite.
That's a no-brainer risk to reward ratio. You just don't go anywhere near it. But if they do free that stuff up in the future, yeah, definitely we'll be looking at that 100%.
It's quite. I just want to say it is quite tricky, guys. Like, you don't know. We've seen this go on and evolve from months and months ago, and it's not easy, seeing everyone else sweep floors and announce all of these external things that bring in rewards. But yeah, just trust us on the fact that there is regulations that are coming. Unfortunately, there are other people that are just getting away with it now, and they may get away with it forever. But again, we just want to protect the business interests, and the only way to do that is just to understand where to draw the line, and that's why we've had to innovate around that. So it, in some cases, it might feel like we're not as
and that also kind of, I guess, supports the docs thing as well. Like, we're on the books, like we're doing this properly. So specifically because we're doing it properly and we are registered as business owners, that it's even more reason for us not to cross that regulatory line at the moment until it cleans up. Awesome questions though. Next question, will there be a holders only community? Yes, let's do that, 100%. Next question, is there a plan to release the 3D files? I mean, the files for 3D programs like OBJ, FBX to the owners. Some projects started doing this so people can use them the way they want. I think it's an awesome idea. David, do you want to talk quickly about our licensing?
Our licensing for the IP of the punks is 100% to the person that actually owns the punk NFT. So what that means basically is that there's no licensing for the IP of the punks is 100% to the person that actually owns the punk NFT. So what that means basically is that there's no limitations on what you do with your punk. You have full rights to monetize off your punk. So, you know, you might get lucky and get a punk that has a bit of already has a bit of status, and you might sort of say, wow, well, maybe I can sit that in my wallet and, you know, over the years it's going to accumulate its wealth in ETH. But over those years you could say, well, hang on a minute, what about if I was to go out and make a t-shirt line, or, you know, find a jeweler that can do some fantastic jewelry out of your punk? Or there's, you know, think about it. There's a lot of ways to innovate and brand, and that's what it is. It's the opportunity for you. How we sort of operate mostly off the internet now, it's probably a better time to be in the space to actually be able to send things all around the world to fans and people that are into it. So yeah, good opportunity there. And yeah, I guess around the you know, the 3D stuff, we probably,
yeah, I'm into it. I like it. I reckon we do it.
Right.
And I got 3D printers and all that kind of stuff, so I'll be like printing these things out and having little actual punks sitting around, which will be cool. But yeah, and just going back to that license thing as well. Like, yeah, obviously you guys own the IP rights to the punk that you own. But yeah, if we give you the OBJ, like the 3D files for it, and you guys start making your own artwork with it, and you guys monetize that in whichever way you can, awesome for you guys, but also awesome for us, because it's just more lift to the brand, like the rising tide lifts all boats type thing. Just cool. I don't think we're going to make this 10-minute own artwork with it, and you guys monetize that in whichever way you can. Awesome for you guys, but also awesome for us, because it's just more lift to the brand, like the rising tide lifts all boats type thing. Just cool. I don't think we're going to make this 10-minute mark. I'm going to try it really quick. He also just said, I'm not a native speaker, so I hope everything's understandable. Okay, I might make a note to reply to that in text, so you can read that. Beska chiming in. I think we're almost at the end of the questions. Yeah, there's 2 more questions and we'll cap it at that. Yeah. Beska, and then we'll do the giveaway and talk about NFT Melbourne. Beska Hunter, can we hear about the community DAO and what are the plans with the funds? What will the voting process be like with the punks? Does the quantity of punks in your wallet and their rarity influence the vote? And that's a really good question. Straight off the bat, can we hear about the community DAO and what the plans with the funds? It's, I don't know, like it's the DAO funds. You guys tell us what to do with the funds. That's your money to spend. You tell us where you want it spent, basically, with the caveat that anything that that gets voted on to spend it on is legal and ethical, pretty much, I think is important. Yeah. We're not going to be doing any dodgy stuff. So the community DAO funds are for the community to decide on what that gets spent on, and I'm really keen to see what you guys want to spend that money on. What will the voting process be like? Does the quantity of punks in your wallet and their rarity influence the vote? That's actually going to be the first vote that we do in the community. That's probably going to be one of the an OG vote that we take for anyone holding the OGs. Do we want is it like, yeah, is it that the quantity, like 1 punk equals 1 vote? Is it that, or is it just like the punk in your wallet equals a vote? And is it the rarity of each one? Does that give you a higher vote? That way we'll make those decisions from there. Yeah. There is conversation to have around that, just about like manipulation and things like that. So it's a little bit more of a complicated question, but yeah, we'll definitely go into that at a later date.
Yeah, generally DAOs work, and I think in fairness, it all comes down to one person, one wallet, one vote. It gets tricky when you have multiple NFTs in a wallet, and it wouldn't be fair to say that one person could vote 10 times over someone that can only vote once, because it all works on fairness, and there's no fairness if someone has an upper hand, and that can be, it can lead to manipulation, especially if you had a few people in the community that really wanted to do something and they were having a chat in the background and said, look, hey, I know you own 20 and he's got 20 and she's got 20, and we know in there without we can swing it and make a decision that, favours them. So I think we should discuss it, but ultimately, if I was to, have a hand in it, I'd just sort of say, minted wallets with multiples still only get to represent one vote.
Yeah, cool.
Something we can discuss, but yeah.
All right, cool. There's one that haven't messaged on. What the final question in the AMA? Sorry, let's go. AMA questions. Knuckle. Will the avatars be full body or only upper body and hands like most are now? If you're referring to the avatars in the metaverse, they'll be full body. They need to be able to run around. They need legs and feet and hands to swing weapons and do whatever needs to be done. Cool, that's it. We did cap it there. So be full body. They need to be able to run around. They need legs and feet and hands to swing weapons and do whatever needs to be done. Cool, that's it. We did cap it there. So let's do real quick the NFT. So we did say we're going to give away an NFT in the spaces. So we have a list of everyone that's in this space at the moment that's been in here. We're doing this via a random spinning wheel picker on the internet. So we've actually recorded this, and we'll just drop it into the AMA sessions channel with the link to the recording. So if anyone wants to verify that we're doing this fairly, but there is everyone's names there. They're on the wheel. I'm just going to click spin right now, and it's just going to pick someone at random. Spinning. Sorry, I can't share this with you guys, but it's almost stopped. Oh, wow, that was close on the line. Gene, quick spin right now, and it's just going to pick someone at random. Spinning. Sorry, I can't share this with you guys, but it's almost stopped. Oh, wow, that was close on the line. Gene T286741113. Just won yourself a Crypt3d Punk NFT. So we'll follow you from our account after the AMA finishes, and then you'll be able to send us a message. We'll get your details down, and we'll send you an NFT after the public mint. So wow. Congratulations there.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that sort of vibe that comes with someone getting an NFT drop. That's awesome. Well done.
Yeah, and it sucks you guys couldn't see the spinning wheel. It's really cool. It does this cool confetti celebration thing when it wins as well. It's quite exciting. Awesome. All right, that's the questions. That's the giveaway. Congrats to Gene. You wanted to chat quickly about the NFT Melbourne?
Yeah, I think everyone's been great hanging out. I'll just take literally 2 minutes.
NFT Melbourne?
Yeah, I think everyone's been great hanging out. I'll just take literally 2 minutes. I had an opportunity here in Melbourne, Australia. We do have a very rich crypto NFT community. For a small country, it's pretty active. And there was a venue in Melbourne that was hosting an NFT meetup. There were quite a few speakers there. A lot of sort of, I don't know, just Twitter influencers and the guys that run some pretty solid sort of projects. Look, when I arrived there, I was quite surprised. There was a massive lineup going around the corner. There were tons of people there with their phones in their hands, showing everyone their PFPs and their latest projects that they were interested in. And just look, a couple of, there probably would have been 800 people there. I did video, I guess. How did I meet these people? I sort of went there with the intention to, I sort of had this bit of a vision. It was a bit of a sort of a dreamlike sort of scenario where I'd go there and I'd meet heaps of people and I'd talk punks every minute. And what I found when I got there, it was just really busy. It was quite noisy. There were just so many people. But I did put myself out there, and I did go and say hello to just some people that were hanging around, and I was lucky enough to get into some amazing conversations, had some great interactions, and just one guy was an artist, and he was doing drone photography, and he was going out into the salt lakes and finding really interesting locations, and he was sending up his drone, and he was videoing and taking 4K images, and he had the reason why I said hello to him, because I figured anyone that's walking around an NFT event, and I would have done it, but that's got an iPad, they've obviously got something interesting. I wanted to find out about it, so I said hello to him, and some of his work was just amazing. So I'm going to hopefully see him and some of the other people. There were quite a few little groups of guys that I actually approached and just sort of said hello to. I was fortunate enough to have some nice conversations with them, and just being genuine about it. I did the elevator pitch. I pulled out the phone. I flicked through some punk images. I showed them our teaser video, and I was really, really excited to have that interaction and get the responses. And I'm sure some of these guys will definitely come in. They'll have a look at the project. I'm pretty confident that they're cluey enough, and they'll understand what we're doing. So it was a good exercise. It was some of these guys will definitely come in. They'll have a look at the project. I'm pretty confident that they're cluey enough, and they'll understand what we're doing. So it was a good exercise. It was great just to get out. It was fantastic meeting people, and I hope that there's another opportunity in here for me to experience that again, because it's just a great place it's just great to get around people that are doing similar stuff and interested in the same sort of things that we're interested in. And it's a big space, and you'd be surprised at who's doing what and who's going to bring the next big thing. But it was a good night.
Yeah, it sounded a lot of fun. I'm shattered on this. I live in southeast Queensland of Australia, and I'm originally from Melbourne. Lived in Melbourne my whole life. Moved up this way a little while ago, so wasn't able to on this. I live in southeast Queensland of Australia, and I'm originally from Melbourne. Lived in Melbourne my whole life. Moved up this way a little while ago, so wasn't able to attend that one tonight. Would have absolutely loved to be there, because I saw some of the videos that you were sending through in our private chat, and it looked really cool. Spot. Where was that again? Was that a billboard? Was it a billboard on Russell?
Yeah, it was at an old nightclub that and just going back into my history real quickly, it was a party venue that we used to DJ at, and it was quite interesting being back there after 15 or 20 years and just getting some of the memories that were created there back in the day. So it was a good experience to have.
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a trip, a bit of a nostalgic trip.
Yeah,
nice one. All right, cool guys. Well, that's it. Gene, we'll follow you on Twitter just after this. Make sure you shoot us a DM so we can get your details off you up over the next couple of weeks as we're kind of walking into the Mint. There'll be heaps of stuff going on, so plenty of opportunities there. So, awesome guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll chat to you guys soon.
Thanks guys. Take care, Crypt3d Punks and Punkettes. We'll see you in the Discord.